Hey guys, I'm Coldy. Welcome to the NHL 31 for 31 series where my buddy 418 and I give our thoughts on all 31 teams. We go over last year's stats and standings and give our predictions for the 2018-2019 season, as well as look at the top performers from each squad and pick a standout player for the upcoming season. We could hit the nail on the head or be smoking the reef, so let us know what you think down below. I'll see you out there. All right. The Chicago Blackhawks are in town. And boy, oh boy, are we going to shit all over them.
Oh my goodness.
Last in their division, last in the Central. Now, maybe we can cut them a break. I do believe it's the toughest division in all of hockey.
It doesn't matter, bro.
Exactly. So, you know what? Just fuck them. Fuck them.
Doc.
76 points.
Yes.
76 points. They look like they should belong in the Atlantic with the Habs and Senators.
That is third last in the West, alongside Arizona and Vancouver, who are two big heavyweights out west, and better than the Habs, Sens, and Sabres in the East, which no surprise, they all sucked last year as well. But yeah, not great. Not a great year for the two-time Stanley Cup champion in the last. How many times they win the cup? I feel like they won the cup every year.
I think it's 3 times since 3 times.
3 times?
Oh, fuck, bro.
And bro, this is the first year in the last 4 where they finished with less than 100 points.
Ooh.
I think that must be one of the biggest swings, because they had 50 wins, 109 points the year before. They got 17 less wins, and what is that? 25 plus
4.
I can't do math right now, but
29?
like 34,
17.
33 wins less,
9
points less. Oh my god, this is the worst. I can't do math.
It doesn't matter. We're not a math talk show. We are a hockey talk show. So fuck it.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, I just can't believe it. I can't believe how bad they were.
Before we move on to their players, if you take a look at their division, so you got Nashville, Winnipeg, Minnie, Colorado, St. Louis, Dallas.
Yes.
Do you think they move out of the last spot in their division in 2019?
No.
Yeah.
I think there's like a 0% chance.
Yep.
Because I don't think they've improved. I just think that their division as a whole is just too strong.
Yeah.
And man, I mean, last year they finished 14, 15, 16 points. They were 16 points below Dallas in their division.
Yeah.
That's insane. They were the only team in the division that had a negative goal differential.
And it's not by like 1 or 2. It's almost 30.
They were minus 27 and Dallas was plus 10. Like it's insane, especially with the guys on that roster that the 2 big contracts to Kane and Taves. Like you'd expect those 2 alone to be fucking keeping them in the positive differential.
So looking at their actual records, home and away.
Yeah.
500 at home. But you're not going to be winning any championships going 500. You need to be playing 600, 650 hockey just to make it into the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, even that. I mean,
even then it's a stretch. And then their away record, which I guess we shouldn't be surprised, but 15, 21, and 5. Now, I don't see them. I know we just said it, but I don't see them improving at all this year. The way that they've gone is they've loaded up so heavily in their top 5, 6 players, including their goalie, Crawford, who's injured. After that, man, who the fuck do they have?
I have a question for you. Based on who we're talking about here, the Chicago Blackhawks. Chicago. Okay, obviously it was obvious they struggled in their goals for and against. But if you had to take a guess without peeking, as to out of the 31 teams where they finished on the power play in terms of power play percentage, where would you slate them out of 31?
I wouldn't put him in the top 20. I'm going to say 23rd.
28th. 28th, dude.
And that's
And
coming.
they have a stacked. Well, I mean, what used to be
Yeah.
a stacked number one power play. That even with Schmaltz getting more ice time, becoming a little bigger part of that team. Kane on the back. Kane, Keith, Taves, Sod, and Schmaltz was. I mean, that's what they're aimed to be this year. But like, if that was their power play last year, I can't even fathom how they managed to be that bad on the power play. It doesn't make any sense to me.
And I didn't see them make any big splashes or even average splashes in the offseason to change things up. They still have an injured goalie who he's a good goalie. I personally never thought yes, he could last an entire 82 season. Not that he's going to play all 82 games, but to give him 60 games, you got to be healthy, without any concussions.
Well, that's why they went out and they signed Cam Ward as their backup.
Oh, that's true.
Backup goaltending.
That's true.
He hasn't been the same Cam Ward that he's definitely not playoff level Cam Ward or
he's not Stanley Cup playoff
exactly
Cam Ward. So,
but I will say just by looking at what happened in the offseason, man, they got rid of your boy Anthony Duclair, who wasn't even on Columbus last year. So I don't know how that's.
So we were both. Oh, that was just a mess. Fuck it.
They got rid of Cody Franzen, Jeff Glass, Marian Hossa obviously had to retire.
Yeah.
Thomas Yurko left the team. Roosevelt Sharp is a big loss for the squad. I mean, he was a veteran presence, but I don't think he was going to be the one to take him over the top. In terms of additions, nothing to really write home about. They got Marcus Kruger back. He was there before, right? Chris Kunitz.
Marcus Kruger, best NHL computer player there is in the game. You give me Crosby or Malkin or Stamkos or any top player as a computer, Kruger will fucking annihilate them. The guy basically ran through my entire Hut team.
What?
I hate him. I'm telling you, bro. I hate him. I hate the guy.
I cannot vouch for that.
Look it up. Fucking do it. Do a computer game. Kruger is all over the ice.
Maybe that was Freddy Krueger, the guy from Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, he's cutting people up.
I mean, they got Chris Kunitz.
Hey,
that's a good depth guy, especially with the experience that he brings, the Stanley Cup rings that he's had.
Talk
about that, man. Finn, slim pickings.
All right, buddy. I got a question for you. What do you think?
I wonder what the question is.
We have not rehearsed this at all. Just FYI, chat or not chat, YouTube. Would you ever trade Panera Bread Panarin to Columbus for Brandon Saad?
For Brandon Saad.
I meant Brandon Saad.
No.
All right, so let's move on to players.
Yeah, let's go players. So if we're looking at the roster for this year, I think a lot of it. I mean, it's a lot of the same names that we're used to, right? We got Taze, Schmaltz, Kane, Saad, obviously Chris Kunitz, the late addition here. Anisimov was also a good pickup. I actually thought Anisimov was brought up in the trade with Panarin.
Oh,
how did they pick him up?
I think he came over in free agency from New York.
Okay. Marcus Kruger's on the lineup, and then we got Keith, Seabrook, a couple other D that I've never heard of.
I know. I just saw Brandon Davidson sign for a year with them. So
yeah, I mean, but he's like a third D pair.
He's almost like a 7th, 8th kind of guy. Like,
and his partner's Jan Ruta.
Yeah, Jan Ruta.
Jan Ruta. Who the hell's that?
Dude, I don't know. I almost called you babe.
Who's your Yoki Haru?
Yoki Haru
I have no idea.
Then they got up front again. They got Dylan Sakura, Dominic Cahoon, and a little bit more known is DeBrincat.
Well, DeBrincat had a great year last year for.
Led them in goals with 28. Very good.
Yeah.
Rookie campaign. Now, I don't see them doing much better in 2019. I think Kane is going to lead them again. 52 points for Taves, 52 points for Schmaltz. Seriously need to step it up. DeBrincat, I think 52 points for him is good. If he could maybe work on maybe trying to slot into some more power play time. I think that'll help his points as well. Anisimov, I think, has to do better. And just looking at plus minuses, man. Like, you got Taves at -1. Okay, for last place in the division, only -1. It's not bad. DeBrincat was +6. Hartman was +5. Just going over a couple. Like Panic was +5, I believe, or +3. And then you look at Kane, -20.
Where is he on my list here? He's all the way at the bottom with Duncan Keith, Anisimov, Sharp. These are their top guys.
They need to be better. They need to step it up. So we're gonna crawl on over to our Make It or Break It segment. Who is your guy? Or two guys? Two guys?
Jesus, you got excited.
One guy, one good, one bad, or one bad, one good.
One good, one bad, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm gonna follow our buddy Timbo there, and I'm gonna hop on the DeBrincat train. I think he's gonna show this year that he's the real deal. He was not a flash in the pan player. He's gonna shoulder a lot of the load that Taves and Kane are getting too old to shoulder, in my opinion. I think he's gonna break out and have an impressive campaign here. And then, man, players that are gonna slip, I got more than one. Duncan Keith, are you still here?
I am still here.
Duncan Keith, Brent Seabrook, and maybe even Taser.
Goes even lower?
I think that those three guys are done.
God.
Bro. And this is like, I'm a pretty harsh critic when it comes to NHL players. I'm not always the most optimistic guy, but those three guys have had a steady decline in my book. I don't know about, pen on paper, but in my personal take on these guys, that they're heading in the wrong direction and that this year is going to be even worse.
Well, I do agree with you there on all fronts. My make it or break it on the bad side guy is actually gonna be both goalies. I'm gonna have Crawford, who I think is gonna be even worse this year, even when he comes back. Just the way it goes for most players when they're injured through the offseason and they start to come back, it doesn't go well for them. They're not caught up stamina wise. Just thinking the actual speed of the game, it's not there. And then on the flip side, my make it or break it good is Cam Ward. He's gonna have to play on top of his fucking head for this team to even have a shot at the playoffs. Because say Crawford comes back 20 games in, 30 games in, Crawford's gonna have to go at least 500 for them to have even the slightest breeze of hope.
And to be honest, the only thing that keeps him in my good books is that he's one of the few on this list that actually has a goal.
That's pretty impressive.
Him and Mike Smith are the only two active goalies at the goal. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I'm not. I don't know. I mean, he could have like this big year, and then next year fall off the face of the earth. But I don't mean to disagree, man. I don't want to be that guy. I don't know. I don't have a great feeling about it.
They're just gonna be shit.
I mean, maybe, yeah.
So, question for you. Without looking at the stats, do you know how many shots Schmaltz put on net last year?
Oof. I mean, I would say he maybe like I don't know, 300?
I might blow your socks off here. This guy had an astounding almost 18% shooting percentage. He scored 21 goals off 118 shots in the entire campaign.
What?
118 shots. Hold on. I want to see this. 118 shots, I think, is the lowest on their team. Yeah.
That's a shot and a half a game.
You're telling me playing on number one power play and going between first and second line minutes, you're only getting 118 shots in 82 games? That right there, I'm taking everything I said about make it or break it. I'm taking it all back. If Nick Schmaltz can reach 200 to 250 shots a year, he's going to carry this team on his back. Forget Kane.
Yeah.
Like, bro, 18%.
I was putting him up like as the team shot leader. Man.
No.
I
team
thought, hey, 300
lowest.
shots a game. Man, that
terrible.
is
Terrible.
rough.
Bro, shoot the fucking puck.
Absolutely, especially based on the fact that he was playing like the entire season.
Yeah. Yeah, did he play all 82?
78.
78. So there you go. You're missing 4 games, so he's missing 2 shots.
That's rough.
That's rough. Okay then.
Okay, well, I mean, yeah.
On to the sponsors. This episode is brought to you by our subscribe buttons. Fucking hit those bad boys, okay? Bye.
I like that so much more than all your other sponsors.